So, welcome to the podcast today. I'm going to be revisiting a topic that I talked about on the podcast a while ago, but it's something that I teach my clients about a lot. And so I just wanted to revisit it and to maybe add some new components to it. And this topic is about confidence. So I want you to think about, when was the last time that you felt really confident in yourself? How did it feel in your body? Where were you? When did you feel confident? Confidence is an emotion, and you experience confidence after you've done something maybe a little bit scary, maybe something you weren't quite sure if you knew that you could do. So, for example, right now, I am training for a bike trek with my kids. We're going to be doing it with our church group, and it's going to be almost 250 miles. We're going to be going around 65 miles a day for 4 days straight and camping in between. Awesome. The weather's been not cooperating that great here in Ohio, and our schedules have been so busy with all of the kids' end of year things. So I finally got the chance to go out and exercise and ride my bike. This week, I went out on Wednesday by myself. Some of my friends were going, but they were going a different direction. I went out and did a 20-mile bike ride, and it was okay. I wasn't loving it so much. I had a good audiobook, so I was listening to the audiobook, and it was really pretty outside. The bike path is gorgeous. It goes through all these forests and flowers and lots of little bunnies. It's very beautiful, picturesque. You're alongside a creek for some of it. I went about 10 miles and turned around 11 miles. And at the turnaround point, I was like, well, I guess I'm in it now. I can't just stop because my car's back at the entrance. And so as I was coming back, I was focusing on a lot of these beautiful things, but also had a lot of self-doubt just talking in my ear. And once I made it to my car and had finished that 21 miles, I experienced confidence after it was done, because I started out that bike ride not knowing how far I could go, how I would feel, because I hadn't ridden a bike in a while. I exercise almost every day and do some spinning classes. So I knew that I had the capacity and I wasn't pushing past what I was able to do in the moment, which is very important for those of us with chronic conditions. I didn't want to push past, but I also wanted to see what I was capable of. And so I experienced that inner peace and that confidence, that emotion of confidence, after I had completed the bike ride. What I was using in order to complete the bike ride is this concept of self-confidence. And the way that my coaching school defines self-confidence is being willing to experience any emotion, to feel it, to process those emotions on the way to creating confidence. So when I wasn't sure if I could do this bike ride, I was using self-confidence. I was like, this is tiring. I don't know what I'm doing. Why did I sign up for this? All of that. I was willing to feel all of that negativity and all of that self-doubt and keep going and not tell myself that it was a reason to stop. Because in my mind, I actually have a much bigger goal than this bike trek. I have a lifelong health goal. And I asked myself this, probably, I think it was back in 2021. I wasn't feeling very healthy. And I asked myself, how would I know that I was successful with my health, that I was feeling healthy? And the way that I answered this is that I would know that I was healthy if I was doing triathlons in the summer times, healthy enough to do that, mini triathlons, nothing too intense. And that if my kids were going on some sort of adventure or activity, or my sisters or any of my family were going on an adventure or activity that required physical stamina, that I would be prepared and I would be able to say yes to those adventures. And this is one of them, to go on this bike trek with my two oldest kids and be able to prepare for it and to do it. That is one of the ways that I live into this dream of having a healthy body. And this is what I'm going to encourage you to do too. I think those of us with chronic fatigue and chronic symptoms and chronic illness feel like it might be dangerous to dream again, because then you might have to experience a negative emotion if you don't achieve that dream. However, what happens is that then you just are unsatisfied with your life in the present moment. I took a course a while ago with an incredible coach, Michelle Fournier, and in this course, it was called Dream Builder. We were coming up with different ways to articulate what our dreams were in our lives. And I love that they have these 6 questions that you can ask yourself, 5 questions you can ask yourself to know if this is the right dream for you. And I did this with my health goal. And I'm going to share these questions with you. The first question to ask yourself once you've decided on your dream, because your subconscious is going to try to talk you out of it. It's going to tell you that you can't do this and that it's not worthwhile, and whatever your favorite flavor is, it will try to talk you out of it because you're creating something new. And our nervous system wants us to do what we've always done because it knows that it's kept us safe because we're alive right now. Even if it's something that's detrimental to us, like if it's easier to eat cookies every night, our nervous system will tell us you should keep doing that. Even if it's leading to extra weight gain or feeling sluggish or tired or whatever's going on with your blood sugar. Our brain and our nervous system wants us to continue doing that because it's kept us alive and we have survived so far, so it must be okay, even if it has long-term detriments. And by the way, I love cookies and I'm not bashing on cookies, but I'm just giving that as an example. So once you have a dream that you don't feel confident in yet because you have not created this result for yourself yet. Once you have a dream, these are the questions to ask yourself to help you to combat that self-doubt that is inevitably going to creep up. So the first one is, does my dream give me more life? Yes or no? I'll give you the example of my health. Me being able to do triathlons and to keep up with my kids and do fun adventures, fun physically exerting adventures. Does that dream give me more life? Yes, for sure. I feel so alive when I am using my body in that capacity in a way that's respecting her and not overdoing it. Number 2, does my dream align with my core values? Yes. Some of my core values are adventure and family and travel and authenticity. And part of that authenticity is, again, checking in with my body. Is this something that you actually want to do? I'm never going to push you again because we've learned that pushing doesn't work. Pushing ends up hurting you in the long run. Number 3, does your dream require you to grow? Yes. I am going to be continually growing in my movement and my physical fitness if that is my dream. Number 4, does my dream require help from a higher power? Oh, yes. In fact, this morning I had the opportunity to either go play pickleball with some friends or to go on another bike ride with some friends. And I was like, I don't know which one to do. Pickleball sure sounds more fun than going on another bike ride. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask Heavenly Father. So I prayed and I was like, which one should I do today? And I got a very firm answer that said, yes, you know that you want to go bike ride, go do the bike ride. And so I made the decision, pulled the trigger, went and did the bike ride. So yes, this definitely requires some help from a higher power. And the 5th one is, does my dream have good in it for others? Yes, this dream definitely has good in it for others because we get to experience more time together and have more fun and to grow closer to each other and build community, wherever that looks like. And as I'm going towards that dream, I am generating self-confidence until I feel confident because then I did the bike ride today and did another 20 miles. I'm like, I am pretty confident in my ability to ride my bike 20 miles because I did it on Wednesday. Actually went 24 on Thursday because I went with some friends. And by the way, with community, it was so much more fun. So I went with friends and enjoyed that. So I have confidence that I can do 2 bike rides that are over 20 miles, 2 days in a row. And then today I went and did another 20-mile bike ride. Again, checking in with my body, asking her, is this okay? Is this what you want to do? Is this in line with you? And getting that, yes, let's do it. Like, I feel good. I actually don't even feel sore in my body from these bike rides. So using that self-confidence, it's generated confidence in my ability to do 3 rides in a row that are over 20 miles, which is good because I'm going to do 4 rides with over 65 miles. So this is a beautiful starting point. So I have confidence right now in my capacity to do 20 miles, but I don't yet have confidence in my capacity to do over 65 miles. I'm going to use self-confidence, okay? So let me bring this back to a lot of the things that the people that I coach with face, okay? Many of you are doing too much for too many other people for too long. This is contributing to your chronic fatigue. And it can be really hard to start to say no and to start to pull back and to do less for the people that you feel obligated to do things for. However, these people also need to have you believe in their capacity to do what they need to in their lives. You don't need to keep doing everything for them, okay? And when you stop doing things for other people just because that's what you should do, your nervous system is used to a level of busyness. When you stop doing that and you start choosing your body first, guess what's going to start happening? You're going to be like, well, then how do I spend my time if I'm not doing everything for everybody? Well, the first thing you're probably going to do is spend quite a bit of time resting, because if you've been operating in this fight or flight energy of, I've got to make sure everybody's okay, I got to take care of all of them, your body probably needs some rest and needs you to start to understand that you're a person too. And again, if you've been doing all of these things for other people, especially after you've done the rest, you might have even lost the things that bring you joy. This happens to so many people that I talk to. They're like, I don't even know what I like anymore. Am I even fun? Like, I don't know who I am. So when you start choosing yourself first in very healthy, appropriate ways, it allows you to feel safe to start to dream again. What are the things that light you up? What do you love in your life? What would you love to create more of in your life? Because this is going to help you to alleviate these chronic symptoms too. Because when you are operating in the nervous system state of rest and digest, rest and repair, tend and befriend, these are all what we call this zone of tolerance, our window of tolerance, where we're not going hypervigilant or hypovigilant. When we're living in that realm, it creates flow. And it's such a fun place to live in. And it's where, when you are spending time doing things that you love, you spend more time in this flow state. Okay? So, in order to think about what it is you would love to create in your life and have confidence that it's possible for you to create that, you're going to have to generate self-confidence. And you're going to have to learn, how do I handle these emotions, especially the self-doubting ones that tell me this isn't possible for you. Like other people maybe, but not you. We're going to start focusing on, okay, how does disappointment feel in my body? Okay? Feels like a little unsettled in my chest. Feels kind of bouncy. Okay, I can breathe into this and let myself just experience the sensations of disappointment. Okay? All right. Now what? Okay. Maybe we're going to experience a little bit of inspiration. Okay, I want to feel inspired as I'm going about trying to create this result. Okay? So, what should your dream be? I don't know, but you do. And you've probably been hiding it from yourself, what you actually want to do. I will never forget coming out of the hospital right after I had my kidney transplant. I had been hospitalized for, they wanted to release me pretty soon after my transplant, like I think 2 days later. And I was like, I don't feel confident in my ability to be able to to not do what I'm not supposed to do. I'm like, I've got stairs. I've got a 1-year-old when I get home. Can I just stay over the weekend? And because I stayed over the weekend, they found a potential problem with my new kidney. I feel like I felt pretty prompted to stay longer so that they could start to address that. So I stayed in the hospital for quite some time after my transplant. And when I finally was getting out of the hospital, getting discharged from the hospital, thankfully we lived 5 minutes from it because we were on student housing at the time. I remember driving down the road. I wasn't driving, but my husband driving me down the road. And I remember stopping at the stoplight and just thinking and just telling him, I'm like, I'm alive. Like, I didn't know if I was going to get a transplant. I didn't know if I was going to get to live. And I get to. And I feel so alive. And let's go live our life. Like, this is so cool. I told him, I was like, I want to travel to Japan. I want to do all of these, like, I want to do all of these things with our kids. I just had this laundry list, a mile long of all the things. I'm like, I don't care how we do it. Let's just make sure that we do it because we are living this life. And the same thing for you. We get so like just, we have, it's almost like the scales over our eyes. We just can't see clearly what an amazing thing it is that you are alive in this world, probably living in America where you have incredible freedoms today to do whatever you want. This is amazing. And so because I had that clarity of it could get taken away so quickly, what it brought into focus easily, what is it that I do want? I was like, I definitely want to be a life coach. I definitely want to take my family to Japan. And while we haven't done that all the way yet, I went to Japan and had an incredible 2-week trip with my husband just this past fall. And that was a fruition of that dream. I had to ask those questions. I'm like, does this dream give more life? Does it align with my core values? Does it require me to grow? Yes, it did. Does it require help from a higher power? Totally. The whole time I was there, my focus was I wanted to see miracles. And literally, as soon as we got off of the airplane, got on the train, we went to a temple for our church and went to the visitor center afterwards. And there was a massive banner that said miracle in Japanese on it. I was like, okay, higher power, Heavenly Father, I see you. I see you putting miracles in my path over and over again. And does my dream have good in it for others? Of course. Doing that had so much good for my family, for my husband, for our relationship, for myself. Let yourself dream again because it is actually going to help you heal when you allow yourself to dream. Even if you aren't fully having the fruition of the dream, just envisioning yourself being in that, achieving that dream, whatever it is, that can put you into that flow state. It can take you out of the fight or flight when you're just allowing yourself to be present and allowing yourself to dream. Like, think about when people were little kids. When little kids, you ask them what they want to be when they grow up, they're like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a helicopter pilot. Pilot, right? Yes. I want to be a teacher. I want to be all of these things. And a lot of times they'll tell you things that don't even make sense. We don't need to live in a state of reality in our heads because that's where creativity comes from. And when you allow yourself to live in that dream, our brains can't tell the difference between imagination and reality. I had lived going down those cobblestone streets in Japan where we stayed in my mind hundreds of times before we actually did it. And by the time we did it, it felt like home. It felt so incredible. And I was able to really experience that joy. So, one thing I want to ask you is that instead of thinking about like, am I worthy of whatever it is I'm dreaming of? You need to determine, is your dream worthy of you? Is the dream worthy of your time? Because if you have a desire for something, it's because there is a possible way to achieve it. I never thought that I would be able to get out of chronic pain with my hip, but I had an open mind and I worked with somebody that was a specialist in that. And then I became a specialist in it. And I love helping people to release chronic pain and to get energy when you thought that that was impossible. It's one of my very favorite things to do. So my challenge for you is to take one step forward today on whatever that dream is and decide that it's okay to have dreams. Even if they don't happen in this lifetime, think about it. It's so funny. Part of my dream is I wake up in the morning, I go out on the lake or on the ocean with my paddleboard, and I see some dolphins while I'm paddleboarding, which, by the way, I did used to do this in Florida. This is reality. However, I live in Ohio right now and there's no ocean here. So part of my dream is go paddleboard every single morning. I come back and have breakfast with my kids and whoever's living at home at the time. And another part of it is that I go next door to my sister's house and have lunch with her at her house in Utah. Does it make physical sense? No. But in my mind, I've done it so often. And I don't know how that will come to pass, but it's actually not important whether I get that specific thing or not. What's important is how I'm feeling throughout my day. How do I think it's going to make me feel when I have lunch at my sister's house? Well, I think it's going to help me feel connected and loved. Okay. How do I feel connected and loved right now? Okay. In some of the scriptures that we use for my church, one of my favorite scriptures is that men are that they might have joy. We were created to experience joy. And if you're not experiencing joy in your life right now, it's simply because you don't have this dream, or you aren't allowing yourself to live into the joy of either your dream or your current reality. Because when you start to feel the joy in your current reality, it makes it safe to create it in different ways too. And as you are going towards that dream, whatever it is, it doesn't have to make sense. Use the self-confidence along the way as you create confidence in your capacity to have and hold what it is that you truly desire and want. I know that it's possible because I've seen it happen with my clients so many times. I have had amazing experiences with them where they came to me and felt like, I don't think I can do this, but I really want to. And so we worked on, okay, how do we allow these sensations, these emotions, and generate this self-confidence on purpose in order to create confidence in your result? And it's so fun to watch them and to see what they've created. All right, have an incredible week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.